So you want to be able to split grip, but you feel too much pain in your bottom arm. Hi, I'm Sloan. I've been a pole dancer for 20 years and a dancer for 35. I'm also a lifestyle practitioner and movement therapist of 14. So let's talk about a few reasons why, as a beginner, your split grip might be hurting you. Before I bring you a little closer to the pole so that you can see my hands better, I want to talk about a couple of different components that actually affect your grip in pole dancing. One of those is that a lot of individuals have the misconception that your hands are doing the gripping. Hands are merely meat hooks. They actually just hold the pole. The real grip comes from your shoulders. If your shoulders don't have enough strength to stay down and back, then you won't have enough strength to pull up, right? You'll often find yourself stuck here. And this is because pulling comes from the elbows, which comes directly from our scapula. That big muscle and big bone, right across your back here. You have one on each side, that's your shoulder blade. So if those are not engaged and your traps are in your ears, you're going to have a really hard time gripping anything, right? So first thing is first, cross train. And when you do so, focus heavy on your back, your core, and your legs. Those are the biggest parts of your body that are used in pole dancing, right? Hands and feet are accessories. When it comes to the grip itself of split grip, when I was managing a studio recently, I had an instructor who used a wonderful cue that I absolutely love, and I'm totally stealing, and she knows it, don't worry. You're creating tension triangles. Do you see it? Here's your tension triangle. If your shoulder is all the way up here, that means there's no tension, there's no engagement. But if I take that shoulder, slide my hand down just a little bit from the top, and pull that shoulder down and back towards my booty, this creates tension of me pulling my top hand into the ground, right? I mentioned that pulling comes from the elbows. That's because when you pull from your elbow, you actually engage your lat here. Having that understanding, our shoulder and our ear are being friends and hanging out right now. This is going to be very difficult to keep yourself away from the pole, correct? So with that being said, we want to make sure that we're pulling everything down and away. The shoulder and the friend and the ears can be friends, but they're not going to hang out right now, right? They're going to stay in their separate houses. Now your bottom hand, this is the important one. You want the index finger to point downward to the ground, and then you're going to wrap yourself around the pole. This places the cup of your palm here wrapped directly around the pole. Notice that my arm is down with the pole. I often see people pushing in here for a split grip. This is closer to a bracket or a half bracket, which is actually here. And we can talk about that in another video. So we want that index finger pointing downward. Because of the angle, this allows us to press right here in that cup area of my palm. Now, I call this the shelf when I'm training my clients in fitness. You press through your shelf when you do presses, right? So locking out that shoulder, pressing downward into the floor. Everything is pulling away from the ceiling because you're trying to pull your body up off the floor onto the pole. It's a relationship with the pole. We're creating tension. So the shoulders create that tension. Don't worry, I'm going to come in close with these as well. So your top hand is in a normal grip, and your bottom hand is in a protective grip. I'm sorry, I don't know if that actually has a name. I just call it a protective grip because it's still a true grip, it's just the finger is down. Now, because you have this tension triangle here, you're going to be able to pull with that top arm, and that should move your body up and away from the pole because you're also pushing into the floor with your bottom hand. This also protects the wrist and elbow joint as well as the shoulder joint, right? Versus having this angle up here. So when you do this and you have enough shoulder strength, you should be able to just lift yourself up off of the ground just enough using your shoulders. You see that? This is great to be able to do all kinds of fun movements. Boomerang, body waves on the pole, mermaid body waves, right? Air walking. And as you get stronger, you're going to feel it all right up in here. It's going to burn for a while, but just remember, your grip strength actually comes from your shoulders and your back, right? So create that tension. Top hand pulls into the ground. Bottom hand also pushes into the ground. Now, I'm going to pull you in a little closer so you can see what I'm talking about better. That bottom hand, like I said, that placement's really important. You're going to notice it's right around mid-thigh. A lot of people want to bring it up by the hip or belly button. This creates bad type of tension, right? We want it down. That way when you step away, you have this 45-degree angle. This is a much stronger angle than this weird, not quite 90, because your wrist is broken. Right? The angle goes for the top arm, right? So your top arm, I'm going to kneel so you can see what I'm doing. So your top arm is no different, okay? Because the distance away from the pole also matters, right? So then that bottom arm is here. You can see there's equal distance there now, right? So it's about like a 45-degree angle away from the pole, and you create the triangle, and you're the tip of the triangle, okay? And it literally doesn't matter where you are. You should be able to do this anywhere on the pole. I'm doing this from a kneeling position, right? So it's literally just about creating that tension. And if you are feeling like it's hurting your forearm, do not do this movement yet. It tells me that your bone may not be strong enough, that your tendons may not be strong enough just yet to withstand your body weight and the amount of tension that you're creating against the pole to lift yourself up off the floor. That can be dangerous for your tendons, around the joint itself. So in order to work up to that, I would suggest a bracket type of movement instead, right? You can do here or a half bracket here. Okay, some people call the split grip a bracket. I'm not sure why. I've always known this as a bracket and this as a split grip. One more time, thumb down, or excuse me, index finger down, top arm in true grip, and we're just going to push everything into the floor. Pull that top arm into the floor, push that bottom arm into the floor. It's going to lift you up off of the ground just a little bit. When I talk about grip isn't from the hands and that hands are merely meat hooks, I'm talking about grip is actually from the shoulders and the back, our lats here, right? This giant muscle I just pulled out. That muscle allows us to pull ourselves up because pulling comes from the elbow. It doesn't come from the hand. You can see it. This is me pulling from my hands. There's no engagement in those shoulders, and I completely lose everything, right? Now, same exact position. I haven't moved my hands. All I'm going to do is bring those shoulder blades down and back towards my butt. You can see everything kind of came up a little bit more. And what I'm going to do is act like somebody's pulling me through my elbows. And that's going to actually, you can see the muscle engage in my back when I do this, right? Both hands. Versus if I just do the hands. See the shoulder kind of locked out there, right? You might get a little bit, but it's going to be really, really, really tough to lift yourself up on the pole if your shoulder blades are up in your ears, right? Your shoulders and your ears can be friends, but don't let them hang out right now. Hey Queen, if you found this video helpful in any way, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button for me, and share with a girlfriend who's also struggling with her split grip. And I will see you on the next go round.